Yo, what's going on, my beautiful people out there? Welcome to Always Into Something podcast, where we bring it to you raw and slimy, but you're definitely gonna love it. I am Ahmad the God, hopefully inspiring the God in us all. Don't ever be good, people. Always be great. Catch us on 72 Entertainment Group YouTube page or any podcast platform across the globe for that thought-provoking dialogue, a definite eargasm.
You are listening to Unwind the Talk Show. We are your hosts, Gab
and Steph.
Thank you for tuning in. On today's episode, we will be talking about
aliens,
religion,
spirituality,
and sleep. Can I get a moment?
No, you were supposed to put like the main event.
And sleep paralysis. All right, here we go.
So we're drinking 19 Crimes Pinot Noir. It's a smooth sell right after that Hard Chardonnay. Hard Chard.
We had Hard Chard by 19 Crimes. I think 19 Crimes starting to become my favorite wine. It's really cool because it lets you know basically a crime. If you download this AR app, it lets you know what they did. And then as you pop the cork out, the cork will mention what they got charged with. Cool stuff. Check it out at your local liquor store.
So earlier tonight we had a Hard Chard. I don't remember the lady's name, but she was charged with theft of bacon to feed her children. Our second, you might want to explain because I don't really know what he was charged with.
Was a gentleman who stole fish from the river, and they charged him with, what was it?
Theft as well, no? So one of our topics tonight are aliens. And me and Gab both did our research on it, you know. But at the end of the day, I feel like these are our own opinions on each subject. Therefore, I chose the things that stuck out to me the most. A lot of people believed that aliens built the pyramids since the Egyptians didn't have the resources or tools.
I believe that aliens built the pyramids.
I believe that it is called Abydos, and it's one of the hieroglyphs that had showed helicopters, spaceships, and like warships. And it was about 3,000 to 5,000 years before their time. Mm-hmm. This was in ancient times, and these symbols were shown in their hieroglyphs. Therefore, people started to think, okay, maybe aliens are real, but those hieroglyphs showed things that are 3,000 to 5,000 years out of their time.
Hieroglyphics.
Edgar Mitchell was the fourth person on the moon, and he claims that aliens have tried to contact humans several times, but the government keeps shutting it down.
I believe that the government tries to keep a ton of things out of our view. Kind of want to give us, what do you call it, tunnel vision?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things they don't want us to know. I opened up my Snapchat today as I was learning about the types of aliens, and it says that our government is run by reptilians. I had a friend that I worked with like about 5 years ago, and he would tell me about the reptilians and how they look like humans because they're roaming around here on Earth. And he asked me, do you ever feel like you're being watched? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Do you ever feel like someone's watching you in the bathroom?
All the time.
And he talked about how those are the reptilians. A lot of times they're not physical beings. yeah, I thought he was a little bonkers, but
let's be honest, the most craziest people on this earth always seem to be right. If you look at documentaries about Jim Carrey, you look at him and you're like, fuck, this man is crazy, but, you know, he has a lot of things that he's right about. Like, it makes sense.
I agree.
So there is a supposed time traveler from year 2030.
Okay.
That had an interview. And he claims that we will be invaded in the year 2028.
They actually predicted that the year of 2012. That's why they believed it was doomsday, because that was supposed to be the day that we were invaded by aliens.
And you know what? Maybe, but the reason why they are going to be invading us in the year 2028 is because their planet has become inhabitable. And, you know, supposedly we're going to think that there will be an attack on Earth and we will be invaded. But really, they come in peace. You know, I don't know, like, I find it so weird because in scary movies, it's always like, I come in peace. And we pee with our fingers, you know, and it's kind of fucking funny. Do you find it funny?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. And, you know, slowly as they, like, start to feel like a peaceful welcome, I guess.
Okay.
Like, just like they're not going to be attacked. You know, they're going to start to come out in multitudes. Supposedly they are already among us. But this was very interesting for me because what better generation to come out on than millennials and Gen Z?
Why do you say that?
Baby boomers. Baby boomers are so fucking close-minded.
No, not all of them.
Okay. Name me one.
My tia. She's not very close-minded. She's actually
I think she was a millennial. Let's check the dates on millennials. And then pod check this.
But my tia and my mom are the same age. My mom
they?
would be considered a baby boomer. So she would too, I think.
Okay, but this is all to the aliens because this is too much. But as far as that is, they're going to start coming out as much as they start to feel comfortability with humans and peace. Supposedly they're already here. Okay, so another great fact that you brought me upon was Steve Hawking spoke with Smithsonian's documenters about a virus wiping out humanity or aliens. And to that, I answered, ¿Y por qué no los dos? Because, you know, that taco shell commercial where, like, the little girl is, like, so soft or hard. And then I guess one of her family members was saying that, but she was like, ¿Y por qué no los dos? Because, you know, we were in a pandemic. Aliens might hit us up, you know.
I don't know if I actually mentioned this. Google is very filtered. There's a lot of things they don't want us to know.
It is government filtered.
Use DuckDuckGo if you want to know the truth about something. I was able to find a lot more than on Google. YouTube is very censored too. That's what I found. I was trying to learn about Anunnaki and Nibiru. I was trying to learn about the Lyrans and the Syrians. Didn't find anything. Very hard to find. It was a bunch of meditation, like videos and sounds. Yeah, not what I was looking for. So definitely use DuckDuckGo. Some of the websites that I found were Golden of Gaia, Anunnaki.org, Elementi.space, and mysterypile.com. So these are some of my sources.
Yeah, you didn't tell me to source check myself, so I never did on any of these topics.
Well, I wrote them down just in case. Are you a Yu-Gi-Oh fan?
No.
Have you ever watched it?
Nope.
Me either. But there's a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Nibiru. It looks like a meteor about to hit Earth. It doesn't describe it very well, but it says the primal being, and you can only use it once. Nibiru is not just a Yu-Gi-Oh card, it's actually the 9th planet in our solar system. Planet 9, Planet X. It is believed that Nibiru was inhabited by the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki actually means those of royal blood. They have a part in the Bible. There are offsprings from the humans and the Anunnaki named Nephilim. I believe that's how you pronounce it. The Nephilim are mentioned in the Bible. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 reads, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown." Renown. And the reason that they were crossbred were to create a slave species race. There is a scientist named Zacharias Sitchin. He is a scholar, and he had ideas about Sumerians and Babylonian gods. He was the one who believed that the Great Flood was caused by Nibiru. When they came close to Earth, it caused the Great Flood. There is an artist, Absol, who's my favorite. That's actually where I got the name Book of Soul. It's actually the Book of Soul, but that was taken, so I had to work with what I had. He has a song called Nibiru, where he talks about Nibiru returning and causing destruction, which Sitchin has predicted as well. He believes that's how doomsday will happen. If you're on TikTok, I know this is weird and this is not my source, but there is someone who is very spiritual on TikTok, and she speaks about star seeds. And this caught my attention. I don't think they're aliens. They're some sort of species that once inhabited the earth. They believe they're still among us. Well, first let me tell you what that species is. They are called the Lyrans. Some people pronounce them Lyrans. Some pronounce it Lyrans. They are the lion people. They are said to be humanoids with cat-like features. Some look very human-like, and some have very feline facial features. And it was beautiful to hear what the Lyrans were like. They were a peaceful, spiritual, and loving culture. All they wanted to do was help humans during awakenings and transitions. What I've learned from these websites that I've mentioned, in the star system of Lyra, the bright star of Vega is one of which the Lyrans inhabit. It is believed that the Lyrans were one of the first species on human. The Lyrans are humanoids that are meant to be considered our ancestors. It really doesn't say too much about them, but it talks a lot. I'm talking about the websites that I found. It talks a lot about Lyran Wars, which is like the original Star Wars. I thought that was cool because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And the reptilians, which we spoke a little bit about, they came onto Lyra. I tried to get like a graph of what their galaxy looked like. I had trouble understanding it because they're stars. So they came onto their planet, universe, I don't know, and they wanted to conquer that planet. They gave them an ultimatum. You either stay and you die, or you go and never come back. A lot of the Lyrans and other species that inhabited universes around them ended up leaving to other places.
I mean, that sounds like the right thing to do. Like, you want me to either stay and die, or you want me to, like, sorry, that must have hurt, but you either want me to leave and go explore and, like, figure out my own true self. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, it was basically stay and die, or go and live.
Then I would rather fucking go and live. The fuck?
I'm so done with you. I'm trying to explain something here.
Yeah, go ahead and go, but, like, that's all I'm going to say.
So a lot of these species decided to stay, and I know you disagree with this, but they stayed because they couldn't live with the fact that their galaxy was being destroyed. And keep in mind, they helped create a lot of these other species. So they couldn't stand to see what was happening to them. So they decided to just stay and they decided to just get killed by reptilians.
I've heard of reptilians. I don't actually know anything about them, but I've heard.
But what happened after this war
is... Oh, you still got more?
Yes.
Fuck.
Okay. What happened after this war was that they chose a group of shamans and priests to keep their history alive. So basically, they wanted their story to be told. They wanted everyone who's ever lived to know that they existed. A lot of people believe that they are among us because they are here to restore peace. On Earth, they're very loving, very kind, very empathetic, very spiritual. And so that is their purpose. I think the Lyrans are beautiful.
So when a bitch looks like a very pretty lion, like, should you be like, wow, are you like a Lyran in your past life? No.
I mean, maybe.
Okay, I'll tell them.
Well, it doesn't have to do with their facial features. It has to do with their personality.
I mean, probably not, because I know a lot of people that are, like, very ugly.
I'm sick of you.
I know a lot of people that are very ugly, but very beautiful on the inside. You know?
Thanks.
You're not beautiful on the inside. All right.
Are you a spiritual person?
I am.
You are.
I feel like, if anything, I connect more with spirituality than anything else.
Then anything else, do you mean religion?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've been researching spirituality on and off for a couple years. Because when we were younger, you and I studied Jehovah's Witness, Christianity, Catholicism. I don't give a fuck. You know, a whole bunch of different religions, and I kind of went off my own road and started researching Buddhism and Hinduism and...
Can I ask you something?
What?
Are you an atheist?
After watching that video that you showed me, no.
Good job.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have told you that I was an atheist. Mm-hmm. And if you would have gone more into depth into the conversation with me, I would have told you that, I had this conversation with someone, and it was a good conversation. Okay, so I would have told you that I was a spiritual person. And truth of the matter is, I'm very scared of spirituality. There's a lot of things that go into it. There's a lot of things that people don't speak about. With spirituality, you are dealing with all of your traumas and all of your wrongdoings at the same time as healing, I feel like. Or as far as me trying to connect with myself spiritually, I've been dealing with a lot of my traumas. And I've been trying to get into spirituality for a minute. Ever since, I would say, this started back in April.
Okay. Do you ever sit down and meditate and breathe and just...
So I actually have a couple notes on my phone.
Okay.
The first time I ever meditated.
All right.
It's very dark. Very dark. Okay. Do you want me to read you the actual cut?
Just read whatever you want to read.
I'll read the whole thing because, you know what, I'm dealing with my own spiritual fucking...
findings.
Whatever the fuck it is. Like, I'm just researching what I feel is right, and whatever I feel is right in my heart, I go with. I'm not going with, like, oh, I feel it on this crystal, and I feel it on this superstition, and on this and that. I just go with whatever in my heart I feel is right. I'm not going off of whatever people say it's based off.
Yes.
But it's April 29, 2020. It's 20 days after, and no one knows this. And no one probably knows what it is, except you.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, I meditated today for the first time. I might cry, but it's okay. For the first time, I ended up in tears. They asked how your heart looked when you connected with it. Mine was dark and lonely. That was the first time I connected so well with emotions. And my whole life I've repressed all my emotions. Because in a weird, fucked up way, that's what you're taught. Like, stop, be a good girl. Calm down.
Don't cry.
Don't cry. You're a big girl. You know? You've been taught that your whole life. So, of course, that's what you're going to do.
Alright, guys, I decided to do a quick little voiceover. This conversation ended up getting really intimate, and I wanted to respect Steph's privacy. We won't be doing a lot of that. I'll be keeping the vulnerable moments, but I felt that this one needed to be private. Thank you.
I know that some people use psychedelics to get a bit closer to their spiritual self, to their higher self. And I can understand it. You know, I've met a couple people that have gone fucking insane off the rails. And I've met some people that have been like, it helped me. And I feel like every single person on their daily journey life should be microdosing. And I've studied microdosing. You know, like I've looked a little bit into everything as far as psychedelics, as far as getting into spirituality. I just feel like I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's really weird to get into, but spirituality seems like it's very dark. And I've found a lot of videos where it says like, if your third eye isn't open, then what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, do we really want our third eye to be open? Do I really want to talk to ghosts and spirits?
It's not just ghosts and spirits, though.
What else?
I think you're learning more about nature.
Not only nature, but like you're also learning about evil stuff. Even if you don't want to, I feel like evil is introduced to it.
So you see spirituality in a dark way.
I don't see spirituality in a dark way, but I see how there could be veils and walls that could get dark.
Okay. When I think of spirituality, I think of meditation, I think of healing, I think of the Great Awakening, I think about chakras. And I wish I understood more, but I've spent majority of my life in religion rather than spirituality. So I never took the time to learn, to understand, to grasp the ideas of spirituality. I did some research today. I brought my notes. Are you ready, May?
Bring your notes. Oh.
So I was listening to Leo from actualized.org talk about spirituality, and I loved hearing him speak because he is a very intelligent young man. He basically put it this way. Spirituality is not a religion. It is not filling your mind with fantasies. It is an investigation into the nature of existence. I was like, cool, you're smart. I think that, I listen to artists who speak about opening your third eye and doing DMT, or is DMT something?
DMT.
Is that what you do, though?
DMT is a substance that makes you feel the exact same chemical of when you are first born, as well as when you're dreaming and when you are asleep, when you're having dreams.
What about when you're dying?
That as well.
Wow. So yeah, Absol says, I must be tripping.
Why is she like this, though?
You want me to rap for you?
Can we get into this? Can we get into you rapping?
No, because it's not the topic.
God, okay. We'll save this.
All right.
Are we going to save our high school selves for our next episode?
When we bring one of our high school friends.
Who's their friend?
Doesn't matter.
I think it has to be two mutual friends.
Sam and
Adri.
You got
Adri
it.
for sure.
Sam, Adri, be prepared.
Yeah.
Come on to the show. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
The wonderful poet Absol said, don't you dare. That's right. You ever been conscious in a coma? Please don't tell my mama. No, I can't.
No, you gotta say it. You gotta say it. Because I'm about to.
All right. Enjoy your mind trip, but don't trip on your mind. No man is safe from the war going on outside. That's right. You ever been conscious? Stop. I must be tripping off that DMT. TDE, limitless like we on NZT. I made my dreams realities, or so to speak, or so they say. I could still be asleep. Spirit, molecules, and geometric patterns.
Just link the fucking song because we all understand. We understand the fucking song.
I wanted to rap.
Can we take it back to high school?
Leave me alone.
Yeah, okay.
It's the wine.
Okay. Okay, so as far as that, I would say I'm not really in tune with my higher self. I know that there's a lot of work that I have to put in, and I understand that, and I don't want to offend anyone. But when people do do speak about spirituality, like, are you thinking about the crystals, the tarot cards, the the brujeria, all that? Because if so, like, there's so much more that goes into it. And that's what I realized. Like, I'm not the craziest girl about astrology and crystals. I really like to look into a lot of the things that go into it. It's not necessarily just chakras and meditation. There's a lot of work that gets put into spirituality, and people don't understand that. A lot of people probably won't even understand it.
What, spirituality?
Yeah, like, a lot of people look into their Christian beliefs, and they're like, I don't even know how to explain it.
Well, I disagree, because I don't think it's just Christians. I think it's anyone in a religion is not going to see spirituality the same as their religion. And not only that, if you're an atheist, you think more scientific and rational, and you want the facts.
But I used to describe myself as an atheist. When people spoke to me, I used to be like, I am an atheist. I don't necessarily agree with what you're talking to me about when it comes down to religion. But I could sit here and hear you out. Whatever you have to say, I will sit here and hear you out. I called myself an atheist because I could never connect with anything that anyone ever said up until you showed me that video. And I was like, wow, I get what the fuck he's talking about. When he spoke about a what?
The word?
Yeah.
He spoke about metaphysics.
Metaphysical spirituality.
Well, they actually mean the same thing.
Right. But ever since, the 1800s? Am I right? Or is
200 to 300 years back. So it could go back to the 1700s.
Okay. As far as the 1700s, those two things became two different things, right?
Religion and spirituality, correct.
So what the fuck was it?
Metaphysics.
So metaphysics and spirituality became two different things.
No, metaphysics and spirituality mean the same thing. Religion is what separates.
Okay, so was there ever such thing as metaphysics and religion?
Well, they're two different things.
I get that they're two different things, but were they ever combined at one point?
I'm sure people believe that. I mean, even now when I say I'm lost spiritually, meaning, here's the thing. Everything I thought I believed in, I don't know anymore. And I even feel guilty questioning it.
As how long ago?
This quarantine. Not this one. I'm talking about the pandemic.
March.
Starting March. Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
I really got into this Christian church, and I loved it. And I loved the fire that these pastors have, and I loved watching it. I felt like, okay, I finally found my religion.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of Christians tend to stray more towards Republican. I'm not saying all, because there are some, I don't even know if it's liberal, but progressive Christians who believe, let's love everyone and, respect people's lives, make things better for everyone, not just for a specific group. I followed the pastors on Instagram. I followed a lot of the people who preach on this church's YouTube because I was attending online. I followed them on Instagram, found out they followed people like Candace Owens and, Kaylee McEnany. I believe that's how you say her name. A lot of these Republican, figures, and I 120% disagreed. And I was like, well, this is not what I stand for. They think that any sort of moving forward is radical, but we shall see with our new president. And yes, we are still holding him accountable because why should we stop?
Take full offense to this.
Stop.
That's all I'm going to say.
Stop.
That's all I'm going to say.
I know some people are going to get offended, but religious people during the protests were more worried about the cities, and they were more worried about buildings and windows. And I understand small businesses off limits, but
corporations,
bigger corporations, they're fine.
Yeah.
I had to unfollow a lot of people because
and I don't blame you.
You hurt the buildings, but you didn't react
that way
towards the Black and brown lives that were lost. So I did stray away from Christianity.
Well, you are very responsible about the words that you choose. Was there a pastor that tried to get with you?
No.
Or am I tripping? Or he tried flirting with you?
There was someone who created a fake profile of the pastor and then was like, hey. And I was like, who's this? And they told me who it was. And I was like, that's not true. I'm sure this pastor wouldn't do this. Not cool. Whoever did that, you suck.
Are you sure that it wasn't that pastor?
Yeah, why? It was a fake profile. It was clearly a fake profile.
But they tried to make it seem like it was that pastor.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to get into it, but you do hear a lot about certain priests doing weird things.
Not weird things, but corrupt things.
Corrupt?
Since we were, born, we were baptized as Catholics, and Mom would take us to church, and you would cry that you wanted to go home, and I would try my best to pay attention because I've always been a big believer of God, and I have faith. I have a different perspective than you do.
Mm-hmm.
I was never an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
I cared about what I was learning about in Jehovah's Witnesses Bible studies. We would do Bible studies, an hour a day after high school, after school?
I was in middle school. You were in high school?
It was my sophomore year.
Therefore, I was in 8th grade.
Okay. Yeah. So, sophomore year, I did Bible study. I would leave school 30 minutes later, Bible study with 2 Jehovah's Witness sisters. I learned a lot. I attended their, one of their, I don't know, my grandma's going to come for me if I don't use the correct terms. But I attended one of the
ceremonies?
I don't remember what they call it. I attended one of the Kingdom Hall services. And it was interesting. I loved learning. I didn't feel like I fit in, really. I've always been lost in the sense of trying to find the religion for me.
I remember you coming home that day and you telling me, I don't think that you should go yet because I'm not even comfortable in it. whatever I was wearing, I feel like it was out of line. And I was like, I don't want to be a part of something like that, ever.
Do you remember what I was wearing?
I don't.
I wore a skirt that went past my knees. I wore flats, a regular t-shirt, and a cardigan. And even that was too much.
Okay. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not.
How old was I? 14, 15?
You were probably 15, 16.
Okay. Well, I was trying to find myself, and I still am. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm better off talking to God and praying and trying my best to do things right.
I know I'm going to get a lot of bullshit for this, but there's a lot of Karens in churches that make younger girls feel like shit.
We get, judged a lot.
You say that thou shalt not judge, yet the first thing that you do when someone walks into a church is judge them off of what they're wearing, what they're walking like, whatever it is. And that's why I've never been able to connect with religion, because you contradict yourself a lot. And I've tried to give it a chance. I've tried plenty of times, and I've never connected with it. And I'm fine with that now.
And I just want to say these are your personal beliefs. These are your experiences. And I know that some people are going to get offended, but we have our own experiences. And I simply was not happy in either religion. Actually, in all three religions. So I didn't stay. And that's okay, because everyone has their own way of thinking, their own way of feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. However you feel about whatever church or religion you are most compatible with, or you feel like you connect with most, go ahead and do, whatever helps you sleep at night. Can we actually talk about homosexuality in religion? How do you feel about it?
How do I feel about homosexuality?
Yeah.
Love is love. And I have family members that are LGBTQ, and I support them and I love them, and I believe they should be able to marry whoever they want. And I don't think a religion should tell you who to love.
100%. So when we were at the age of, I want to say 8 years old, that's when I realized that our aunt was a lesbian. Would you say that's accurate? 8 years old? 9? 8 or 9?
I think we were younger.
No. When you realized that she was a lesbian.
Yeah,
You were younger when you realized she was a lesbian?
No, you know what? You're right.
So 8 or 9, that's when I realized that my aunt was a lesbian, and she slowly started to introduce us to her girlfriends, the chicks that she was attracted to, the chicks that were around, whatever. And she would always have her nieces, no matter the situation, what party it was. She had her crazy nights out where we obviously weren't invited, but she did have baby showers, where it was hey, I'm gonna take 3 of my nieces, and we're gonna have a good time. And we would get introduced to her girlfriends at the time. But I remember a day specifically. It was what would you call it? It was my grandpa's death anniversary, I believe, or maybe birthday anniversary. And we had our whole family surrounded his graveyard, his gravestone. We had our whole family surrounded his gravestone. We had every single aunt and my dad present, other than one uncle. And I remember that our aunt's hair was cut short. And I remember an aunt of ours that had studied cosmetology, not my tia Vicky, but my tia Sandra. She had started talking shit and saying, like, why is her hair so short? Like, she's weird. Blah, 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 blah. And my grandma chimed in. And you could tell that she shrunk. And that day breaks my heart.
Like, she
looked at us dead in the eyes, and she shrunk. And, that day broke my heart, because that was the day that I realized no one ever took her feelings into consideration. And if no one's to ever take my feelings into consideration and just be like, you know what, fuck this girl. Like, she's just addicted to what she is. Like, she's just a fucking hoe. And no one ever takes any of my shit into consideration as to why I am the way that I am. Then you know what? I probably would have gone and done the same thing that she did. And that's fucked up.
No, sister, but I don't think my tia did that. I think it was an accident.
You think it was an accident?
I do.
You think that she just lost control of her truck?
Yes.
Genuinely?
Yes.
5 seconds on the phone and you think that she lost control?
A friend of hers would constantly tell me that we were always on her mind. I'm not talking about me and you. I'm talking about me, you, Michelle, Karen, Yahaira, Diego, Jennifer, Briseida, Edgar. Sorry. Therefore, I don't think she did what people believe she... And you know what? My dad, my tia Vicky are probably the only ones who know, and that's okay.
Yeah. Because, like, at the end of the day... Do I have toilet paper right here?
Those are her siblings. No, you got it. I feel like we went off topic too much, and like
we need to go back in.
Yeah, we didn't really.
Skirt.
When you said you researched microdosing, what kind of microdosing? Like what specific?
Mushrooms.
Okay.
I've been looking into it a lot lately, because
mushrooms are not a drug. They're psychedelic.
Yeah. They're still a psychedelic, and I believe that they can help you if you're schizophrenic, if you are depressed. They could definitely help you. They're more seen as a medicinal type of drug, just as marijuana. Now, I believe in Colorado they're doing the studies on them. I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on that. But I'm scared to go into psychedelics as far as, like, having to deal with my own demons. And I know that I've met people that are like, okay, you're just fucking crazy and psycho. Like, you don't have to face your own demons. It's kind of just like you go through the journey and that's that. And I'm like, but what if my journey is a little bit more negative than yours? Like, there could always be that. But as far as microdosing, like, there's this chick, and she speaks about it a lot. I can't actually give you her name. I don't remember what her name is, but do you want me to fact check myself?
You don't have to. If that's her experience, then...
As far as that, she was like, okay, like, I was always tensed up. My jaw was locked. I was always, like, focused on, fuck, I didn't do that. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to spend this many hours doing this, whatever. And then her microdosing would hit, and she would be like, I haven't even taken a moment to look at how beautiful the sky is. the trees. You know, they're amazing. And I think, like, I spend a lot of my days like that, where I'm like, fuck, dude, like, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. I need to go buy this, I need to go buy that. And I don't even take the time to look up at the moon at the end of, like, a long day of work. I don't even look up at the moon. I'm just like, what's the next thing? Like, I gotta grab a lift. I gotta go fucking grab dinner because I haven't had dinner all day. Or even breakfast at that. I don't know. I think it's crazy. Like, I feel like if I look more into it, I could definitely be more in tune with myself, but I'm still very afraid.
Have you heard of ayahuasca?
Yes.
I hope I pronounced it right.
You did. It is a spiritual journey.
Yes, it helps you. It helps you increase the mindfulness capacity of your brain. It basically allows you to awaken. It contains DMT, but ayahuasca is a plant, and I believe it's used in Brazil.
Isn't it Peru?
On healthline.com, I actually read that it was used in Brazil. Could be used in Peru too. I'm sure a lot of regions of the world use it. But it's basically a plant which gives you these vivid hallucinations. Basically, I believe 2 weeks before, you're supposed to abstain from sex, drugs, alcohol, meats. You're supposed to either be vegetarian or vegan.
So before going into this?
Yes, you have to prepare 2 weeks before. Because then they have a ceremony and a shaman. Shamans lead the ceremony. It says it could last anywhere from 2 to 6 hours. And basically, you're going through these hallucinations. The young girl who did it, also on TikTok, because she basically talked about her experience. And she mentions that on the outside, it looks like you are fine. Just looks like you have anxiety or like have a panic attack. But in your, like, in the moment, even though it's not showing
to your inner self
is like breaking down, crying,
vomiting.
You're going through so many things. That's a way of, I believe, awakening your third eye.
I heard that ayahuasca definitely does help. Chelsea, what's her name? Chelsea lately, what's her name? Chelsea, I don't know her name. Chelsea Handler. She went through an ayahuasca awakening, and I heard that after she went through that ceremony, she was unable to continue with the show. I feel like it's a lot to take in, but I feel like it could be very good for us.
I think it's a way of connecting with nature. We weren't supposed to be these people who work, and work until you basically die. We were meant to be of nature, I feel. I think even technology wasn't meant to be. I feel that the aliens had something to do with that. They brought us all this artificial intelligence and technology. I feel that's why we're so advanced. There's one last topic that we wanted to discuss.
Did we discuss religion?
Yes.
We did?
Very slightly, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've experienced something called sleep paralysis since I was 15. A lot of times it makes me scared to sleep at night, which is why I'm... Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
All right. Since I was 15, because we're switching topics now.
Yeah.
Since I was 15, I've experienced something called sleep paralysis. And everything I've looked up basically just tells me that I'm between being awake, being asleep, to put it simple. I feel that it's either something very demonic that I'm like facing as I'm falling asleep.
So with sleep paralysis, I've never had a positive episode. I've never had a time where I'm like, wow, that was some great sleep paralysis, you know? You've never, I don't know if anyone has, but you've never experienced that. And as far as you were saying, you're either feeling it when you are falling asleep or when you are waking up. So when you are waking up, it is called a hypnopumple.
Say it again.
Hypnopumpic. This means when you are feeling sleep paralysis while you're waking up. I don't think I've actually felt it while I'm waking up. I think I feel it more when I'm falling asleep.
I've only experienced it as I'm falling asleep. I've noticed it if I take a nap during the day. I know I'm going to have it for sure.
Do you want me to tell you what it's called when you're falling asleep? Hypnagogic. Okay. Can I give you a couple of facts about sleep paralysis?
Give it to me.
Around the world, which I can 100% relate. I've felt certain things push down on me while I am asleep, that feel very demonic, that feel very alien-like.
Right.
That feel, how would you say, when, like hallucination-like.
Have you ever felt like you were being abducted?
No.
No?
No, but I felt like I've been raped.
By like a spiritual being or like a demonic being?
Like almost every single time that I felt sleep paralysis, I felt like there was something trying to be sexual with me. And like, I don't know if that's necessarily weird, but I've literally always felt that every single episode I've had.
You know what's interesting? The Cambodian meaning of sleep paralysis and the Chinese meaning, which I don't know if you've gone into that.
Not really.
Can you tell me what the Chinese meaning is?
The Chinese believe it should be handled with a spiritualist.
Okay.
Therefore, someone that is spiritual.
The American meaning is the only one that doesn't talk about spiritual beings out of the three. Because I don't know all the others.
Italy just speaks about it, like how to deal with it as far as a folktale. To sleep face down with a pile of sand on the bed or a broom by the door. It's just a kind of like little weird folktale to dealing with sleep paralysis. It doesn't actually go into what they feel sleep paralysis is like. But yes, as far as you were going into...
So the American meaning is basically your body is transitioning to or from REM sleep. So your
rectal eye movement, right?
Yes. Your conscious...
Damn, this bitch knows her shit, and people try to make it seem like I don't. Bye.
Your consciousness is awake, but your body remains paralyzed in sleep. That freaks me out because when I am paralyzed in sleep, I can't move, I can't scream. There's been times where I've literally cut my lip open from biting down because I wanted to wake up so bad. What I've noticed when I am in sleep paralysis...
Can you take off your other eyelash?
It was bugging my eye.
Yeah, just take the other one off.
Yes, princess. Right, but what I've noticed when I'm having an episode is I am experiencing something that doesn't feel like a good spiritual, what would you call it, entity in the room. Every time I've experienced it, it's a dark entity. When I was 13, 14, no, I was 15. When I was 15, I experienced it for the first time when I lived with Mom in our room. And it was always my fears. I have this huge fear of chainsaws. Don't ever chase me with a chainsaw because I'm going to run in front of traffic.
Because I'm going to come for you.
No, I'm going to run. Yeah, I'm scared. But I basically felt myself from laying, what would you call it, vertical to horizontal to where my head was off the bed. And I could hear something approaching me with the chainsaw. Basically like they were going to me.
Decapitate.
And they got darker from there as they progressed, the darker they got. At one point, I felt like I was being touched inappropriately by this dark entity. I felt sheets being pulled off. I felt, and this is all through episodes of sleep paralysis. In my old house, I experienced it a lot too, and I'm like, okay, it has nothing to do with where I'm living because anywhere I go, it happens. Mm-hmm. It recently happened here, and I wanted to wake up Roger so bad. And I felt like I wanted to run from something. I didn't know what, but I wanted to run. Felt like something was behind me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've never had a good experience with it.
So neither have I, and a lot of the time, I don't even know if you call it American culture, but they want to make it seem like you're unconsciously unconscious. And I think that's such bullshit. I think there's a lot more that goes into it. They say that it can be treatable with a right sleeping habit and to stop drinking caffeine before sleep. And that one kind of makes sense to me. If you do stop drinking caffeine before sleep, maybe your body won't, maybe your mind won't wake up before your body. It makes sense. But in a way, I'm still like, well, why would I feel all that negative energy from just being half awake, half asleep?
From just drinking a Red Bull or a cup of coffee.
And it's like you're low-key in two different portals. You're in the
physical realm.
I don't even know what to call it, but you're in two different portals.
It feels like you're in two different places at a time. Does. It feels like your body is on the bed, resting, and it feels like your soul or your spirit is out and about, like watching what's happening to you.
Exactly.
Have you ever felt that you were looking down on yourself?
Yes.
Me too.
So, have you ever seen that nasty Tumblr MySpace photo where that weird emo girl is eating her arm?
Ew, no.
Dude, yes you have.
No, that doesn't sound familiar.
She's this weird little pale girl and
Ew, 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 ew. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So that shit was right next to me while I was having a sleep paralysis episode. And I was looking at this bitch sit right next to me while I was looking down at me and her. And one time, you, me, and one of Mom's closest friends spoke about it in the kitchen. Yes. And Mom was like, no, you bitches talk this energy into the room. Like, you guys are weird.
You're bringing it into the house.
Yeah.
No. I started to experience. And my mom's friend is from Guatemala.
Well, they both are.
They're both from Guatemala. And she believes that it's when we were no longer a abstinent young lady that we started to experience these things. Because because she says that the moment that you are no longer a virgin, you are no longer pure, and pure.
Pura.
You're no. I can't talk.
Yeah, no, it is pura.
You're no longer pure, and so did you text him?
I did.
Why?
I don't know.
Fuck.
I know.
Stop drinking wine, because look at what you're doing, girl.
So some of my facts on it are that supposedly sleep paralysis aren't harmful. As far as 2015, there has been no note of anyone passing away from sleep paralysis. But as far as I feel like, what if someone is so afraid of that episode that they now have come in contact with a heart attack? But you're going to blame it on the heart attack. You're not going to blame it on sleep paralysis. Whatever. If you have frequent sleep paralysis, you can develop narcolepsy. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you for always hitting us with the facts. Does anybody else think that stuff sounds like Maddie from Euphoria, or is that just me?
Can you see where the wine is at?
No. What is your song of the week?
May I look at my phone?
Sure, go ahead. What is it?
It's John Redcorn by Sir. I could really speak volumes to that song. Or it would have to be Janae Eiko, None of Your Concern.
Who hurt you? Never mind.
This man. This man hurt me.
My song of the week.
Is he a man?
I don't know, is he?
No, not really.
My song of the week. Guess.
Do I know this artist?
No. Okay, my song of the episode is going to be Fall in Love by Slum Village. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 2. We had a lot of fun talking to you. To you. No, you.
You.
I had a lot of fun talking to you.
I had fun talking to you, too.
It was great.
I cry every episode, but you're going to cut that out, right?
Of course.
Okay. Cool.
Please tune in to the next episode,
where we will be talking about...
We don't know yet.
Simba.
Stop. How was your wine?
It was great. It gave me a headache, though. Have you seen those big straws that go into the wine bottles and, like, bitches sip out of it?
No.
There's, like, these huge straw... There's this huge straw...
I didn't love the Chardonnay that we had tonight, but
I did.
I really love the Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir.
And we have half the fucking bottle here. But she loves it. I did like the hard chard. Like, come hard or don't. You know?
Interesting. Yeah, not for me, though.
Like, don't be subtle. Like, punch me right in the kisser.
Steph needs to go to bed. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good night. All right, guys. So it's the end of the show. But I plan on collabing with my friend in the near future. And I just hope we don't do it drunk like we were last night. But I'm going to leave a clip for you guys. Hola, Xella.
Hola, Gabino. So today it's
It's January 7th.
It's January 7th.
It's what time is it?
But we are doing a collaboration between Unwind and Bonfire Talks.
Okay.
So
Cheers to that.
salud.
Salud.
Gabino's drinking out of a wine bottle. I'm drinking.
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Since I cheered, I have to? Okay.
But today's topic is gonna be that looks like it tasted nasty.
It tasted nasty.
Today's topic again?
Yeah, no, try this one.
Oh no.
No? What's
Today's topic is relationships.
Okay.
What to do and what not to do, what to accept and what not to accept. But what are you willing to accept and to not accept in a relationship?
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
And do be nice.
But I feel like don't be rude and do be nice could mean a lot of things, right?
Yeah. Like, do put the toilet seat down.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, before even Unwind started and Bonfire Talk started, the toilet seat issue was a big problem.
That's right.
Why do men have to put the toilet seat down?
So that we don't fall down in the toilet.
If that's not a responsibility.
It is. How dare you not say? How dare you say it's not?
Ladies and gentlemen, do you feel like a man has to put the toilet seat down? Or do you feel like a woman has to look if the toilet seat is down?
Let's ask Ruby.
Ruby. What the fuck? Ruby, come up to the mic and let us know what you think. What do you think, Ruby?
I think it's not a responsibility.
So,
Ruby got us.
I'm very sorry.
Go to sleep, Ruby, please.
I'm very sorry,
You're
ladies and gentlemen.
embarrassing me in front of my friends.
I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Why would you act like that?
Second chance.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Ruby, for the second time. Go ahead, Ruby.
Responsibility, ours. It is not.